Okay, good morning. It is 1 month until I sit down and take my board exam. So, I thought on my quick drive to work this morning, I'd sort of talk about how I feel, where I'm at, and maybe what I've been doing, and I don't know. So, I don't feel like for this one, I'm as nervous as I have been in the past for any of the other board exams. And I'm trying to figure out why. And I don't know if it's because I'm just over it, if I am just more prepared, or I don't know. We all know that I struggle with boards. We all know that's the reason that I never got into the residency that I wanted, and that I've had to sort of pursue an additional career path. But at the end of the day, it's too early for this, man. So I've been doing a lot over the past 2 years, we'll say. Intern year I still struggled because you don't really have a lot of time. In intern year I still was struggling to like find myself, and what was I going to do with my career path, because I didn't get into the residency that I wanted initially. Since second year, I was a high risk for not passing my boards, which is good to identify early, because my residency put me on a course correction plan so that I study more, and then I sort of tackle my weaknesses and sort of take it from there. This year I've been doing the same. It's a little bit less hands-on than last year was, so there was that, but ultimately I've just been doing a lot. For the past maybe 3-4 months in total, trying to not only balance a job interview and flying out to the West Coast every month, I've been, just doing questions. Because the best way to get better at testing, and the best way to overcome being a bad test taker, is to do more questions. Because then there's nothing that you haven't seen when you sit down and you take the actual exam, and that's kind of a good mentality to have. And that was exactly what my program director said when I struggled last year to try and get where I needed to be, to prove that I may be okay by the time I sit down and take my boards. So, okay. I also feel that in residency, I've had a lot more support with prepping myself to get the boards done. In medical school, it was kind of a fight or flight. Everyone just knew you had to take step 1 and step 2, and that was it. But in residency, I feel like they've been a lot more hands-on and a little bit more involved in the board prep process, and finding my weaknesses and helping me become a better test taker. And I think it helps that, with step 1, 2, and 3, it was so general and there was so many little details that it was just, you didn't know what was going to hit you. At least now, you have a better idea, because it's something that you're doing and something that you're specializing in. Even though family medicine is about as general as you can possibly get, doing the same thing day in and day out and having your boards geared towards that has been very, reassuring, and it's not as stressful as the other ones have been. So I don't know if it's more like I'm just ready, or if I also feel like my program has had a huge say in the matter, and they've been very helpful at getting me prepared and more confident to sit down and take this. So, I don't know. I'm going to still sit down. I think I did maybe 50 practice questions last night. I got another month. I got to get back out to the West Coast to job interview 2 other places. Sit down and just study. I'm less doing more studying right now, as I am questions every day, and questions multiple times per day. There's less sit down and read, but the AAFP puts out a magazine twice a month, so I still make sure that I read all of those articles, because again, that's going to be the most up-to-date up-to-date information, and that's where a lot of the board exams questions stem from. So this was a terrible idea for some reason. I feel like I'm not awake enough to vlog for you guys yet. So I don't know. I feel good. I feel like I've made a lot of improvement in my test taking process. I feel like I've made a lot of strides in doing enough practice questions so that I'm very prepared for my boards. And I feel pretty good right now going into it. Still got a lot of work to do. I still got to do a lot of work. But I'm less freaking out as I was for step 1, step 2, and step 3, and I feel like this one may be okay. I don't know. Plug my predictor value into this, I don't know, statistical predictor of how I'm going to do on my boards, and I have a 95% chance at passing as of right now. So I'm going to do a little bit more work to get that up to 100, and I'm going to nail it next month. So my program's dually accredited, so we get credit from the AAFP and the ACOFP for the MD and DO boards. So DO boards wise, there's a in-person practical for OMT, and then there's a sit-down board exam. I have my in-person practical in 2 weeks. That I feel like I'm the most nervous about, because there's no way to prepare for that other than just doing OMT, which I don't like, so I don't do. So that one I'm a little nervous about. But the state of Ohio does the, I don't know, they have a big DO family medicine practical, so that's next week. Then my program is doing a practical practice the day after, and then I go take it. It's in Austin, Texas. It'll be fun to vlog. And that part I'm nervous about, because I don't know how that's going to go. Because practicals are weird, because it's a subjective it's a subjective evaluation. Somebody sits there and says, are you good enough? I don't know. You could get someone who's super nice, you get someone who's a jerk. I don't know. That part scares me. I tend to do better on the DO practice questions and practice boards, so I'm a little less nervous for my DO exam, only because that one is like a month and a half away, whereas the MD one is literally in like 30 days. So, as I back into my parking space, it's 30 days until my boards, and, you know, I don't know, I'm feeling okay about it for once in my life, and that's kind of a cool feeling, because usually I freak out and I have no idea what I'm doing, and it really stresses me out and bothers me and ruins my life for a solid 2 months, but I'm not there right now. I'm actually okay, and I have to give my program a lot of credit for getting me prepared and getting me ready for that, and really working with me and noticing my flaws and noticing the fact that, you know, I can do it if I put enough practice into it. So that's what I feel has been the biggest contributor. Is in like medical school, they're like, go pass your boards, and in residency they're like, yeah, you gotta pass your boards. Let's make sure we do everything to get you where you need to be. Let's make sure you're meeting every couple of weeks with your advisor and touching base. Let's make sure you're doing this. Let's make sure you're doing that. Here's what we found works over the course of the residency for people who struggle with boards. Let's do that for you. How was that? Or I don't know. It was really refreshing. It felt like, you know, someone was more invested in the fact that, you know, I struggle and I can pass my boards if I'm given a little bit more motivation, a little bit more work. I have never had it easy when it comes to getting ready for standardized testing. So this was refreshing. I feel like I'm ready, but I still got a lot of work to do. So we're gonna do 30 to 50 questions a night, keep reading little articles here and there, touching base on clinical questions I have over the course of the night. When I'm done at work, read up on the cases of the day to make sure that it solidifies in your head, because at the end of the day, that's how you prepare for boards. So I'm ready. I'm good. I'm gonna go to work now because I'm about 5 minutes behind when I should be here. I'm having a great time on my inpatient month, so that's it. I just want to give a quick update. You know, 30 days till boards, but I'm not as stressed out as I was. I think I did one for step 1 years ago, and I'll link that one below, because it's the mindset is so different, and I'm thankful that I'm not at that point anymore. So okay, I will keep you updated. I got to 2 job interviews next week, I think. At least one, possibly 2, if I can fit them in. And we will go from there. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in as always, guys. Have a good day.